Coming up, HMS host workers went on strike today at the Sky Harbor Airport. What this means for workers and travelers next.
Plus, one little girl now has her forever home, and she and her family are raising awareness about the foster care system.
And later, how roller derby planted a seed for a Division I college football career.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Ryan TISMINEZKY.
And I'm KAMILAH Williams. Thank you for joining us. Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich is co-leading a lawsuit including 11 states against the Biden administration to stop vaccine mandate on private employers with over 100 employees. Cronkite News reporter Alyssa Stoney went to a press conference today at Brnovich's office where he discussed the latest actions.
Brnovich was joined by representatives from the Phoenix Law Enforcement Association and United Phoenix Firefighters Association to oppose the vaccine mandate for private contracted employers with over 100 employees. The mandate would affect City of Phoenix firefighters and police officers. Arizona was the first state in the country to sue the Biden administration over the vaccine mandates. And now the City of Phoenix announced it will require all contracted employees to get the COVID-19 vaccine or be terminated from their jobs.
That no one should be required or forced to get the vaccine, that's a choice of individuals.
Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich says the mandate is unconstitutional and nowhere in the U.S. Constitution does it give authority to the federal government to mandate vaccinations. Brnovich says it is a personal choice and right.
I also believe very strongly that our first responders should never have to choose between their jobs, their livelihood, and their health insurance versus an unconstitutional vaccine mandate.
The United Phoenix Firefighters Association represents over 2,600 firefighters valley-wide. The Vice President, Brian Willingham, says they are worried about the staffing issues due to the opposition against the mandate.
My biggest concern is with our guiding principles and mission of being there to support the community and respond in less than 5 minutes to medical and fire emergencies. We won't have the ability to staff our units if individuals are forced to retire or leave the job.
The General's office gave the Department of Justice a deadline of December 3rd to respond to the lawsuit. The City of Phoenix mandate says all employees must be vaccinated by January 18th. In the newsroom, Alyssa Stoney, Cronkite News.
As of today, more than 90% of federal workers have met Joe Biden's federal worker vaccine mandate and have received their first dose. This comes after Biden's executive order signed earlier this year. Since Biden's federal mandate was announced, the number of unvaccinated Americans has dropped from 100 million to less than 60 million. According to the White House, the federal vaccination mandate may serve as a model for private businesses, depending on pending litigation from the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. That has to be resolved first.
With Thanksgiving coming up, Dr. Anthony Fauci gives tips on how to celebrate safely during the holidays. Fauci says the best way to celebrate safely is to get vaccinated. He says those with the COVID-19 vaccine are less likely to spread the virus and can enjoy their time with their family in an indoor setting with little worries. Those who are unvaccinated are vulnerable to getting infected and infecting their loved ones. He advises that if you are indoors and do not know the vaccination status of those around you, to play it safe and wear a mask.
Well, my recommendations to Americans to celebrate safely is get vaccinated as soon as you can. Obviously, if you're not vaccinated, you're in a situation where you're more vulnerable to getting infected.
He advises that everyone use caution and their best judgment, especially when traveling this holiday season. Besides busy holiday travelers at Sky Harbor, you may see striking workers. Employees for HMS Host, which runs many of the restaurants at the airport, went on strike today. Reporter Brianna Isabella is at the airport and tells us why workers are striking.
You can see striking workers behind me. They say they will continue indefinitely until their requests of fair raises, affordable health care, and amongst other things are met. This is not the first time HMS workers have been on strike. They say that since their previous strike in September, their demands have not been heard.
In those last 6 months, it's become very clear at each session that it's less and less. They're willing to listen to us and to hear what we have to say.
HMS workers, as part of Unite Here Local Union 11, have been in negotiations with HMS for nearly 4 years. They say they are frustrated and want action.
Well, the biggest thing that we can do is go on strike. The workers here make Sky Harbor America's friendliest airport, right? And the only reason it's that way is because of us.
We reached out to HMS and have not heard back, but according to the Arizona Republic, the company says they are doing everything they can to minimize inconvenience. Sky Harbor says so far the strike has impacted less than 10% of the restaurants that are usually open. Still, the dozens of striking workers hope their complaints during the busy travel season will be heard. And they plan to continue their strike until HMS is willing to negotiate with them.
They're not willing to budge, and we're not either.
Travelers we talked to say they haven't noticed the lack of workers in the Starbucks and other food vendors in Terminal 4. But if you plan on traveling over the next few days, you may want to consider eating in advance or buying packaged food that is okay to take through security. At Sky Harbor Airport, I'm Brianna Isabel, Cronkite News.
The state has received millions of federal relief funds and is now the city of Phoenix is using some of that money to invest in new strategies to achieve their goal of ending homelessness. Reporter BALIN OVERSTOLZ-MCNAIR visited a hotel that is being redeveloped into a shelter.
Maricopa County is sticking to their housing first approach to homelessness, but now they are expanding services in line with the Biden administration's House America plan. Local groups and communities are working together to achieve this goal. Central Arizona Shelter Services, known as CAS, and the City of Phoenix are creating emergency housing out of the Phoenix Inn. This new shelter, called Project Haven, will target people over 55. This age group has seen a significant rise in homelessness since the start of the pandemic. It is funded using federal relief funds.
So we're receiving a grant of $7.5 million from the state, and that money's coming from HUD. And then we're receiving a grant of $4 million from the City of Phoenix, also federal money that we were awarded to do the renovations to get this open.
Project Haven shows a partnership between the city and communities. Cass says it is normally not an option to create shelters near neighborhoods because of community opposition, but Cass was able to reach a good neighbor agreement.
Homelessness is bad for the neighborhood, it's bad for the homeless person, and if we don't get support from neighborhoods, we're not going to be able to do anything to expand our footprint for shelters for homeless services.
Federal relief funds have given local groups fighting homelessness many more options. One new strategy is to create shelters throughout the valley. This is the first step, and it is in the West Valley.
The West Valley has seen the largest rise in homelessness of anywhere throughout Maricopa County. Maricopa County holds 70% of the state's homeless population.
Phoenix Councilwoman Betty Guardado hopes Project Haven encourages other cities to try similar programs.
The city of Phoenix needs to lead, but we also need the surrounding cities to continue to help. There's a lot of cities that are doing their part, and I think that are helping.
Maricopa County officials say homelessness is expected to get worse and the senior population remains high risk. Advocates for the homeless say one reason the senior population is at risk has to do with fixed incomes coupled with a rising cost of living. Additional federal funds will help build a light rail extension to the area around Project Haven, and there are plans to build more affordable housing options in the area. In the newsroom, BALIN OVERSTOLZ-MCNAIR, Cronkite News.
Up next, a 5-year-old girl found her forever family. Now she's helping raise awareness for those in the foster care system. More on her story next.
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
It's prime time on your time. Watch Prime Afternoons every weekday on Arizona PBS. Did you miss a show in the evening? Then catch up on Prime Afternoons, your favorite dramas.
No more bloody heroics.
Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
Nature and Nova.
It's time to reintroduce some wonder into this miracle of nature.
All of the best from PBS on Prime Afternoons. Weekdays starting at 1:30, only on Arizona PBS.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle struggle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Here we go. Lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
There are more than 14,000 children in foster care here in Arizona, and there aren't enough homes for them all. One surprise family has opened their home not only to foster children, but to become one girl's forever family. Reporter Julia Sandor shares their journey.
I had the opportunity to meet the BASHA family as they were preparing to adopt 5-year-old MARIAH, and their adoption proceeding was one of the first to take place in person since the pandemic.
Come over here, get over here.
For the BASHA family, home is where the heart is.
I love my family.
Even when it takes a little longer for it to become official.
I think all of us, including the kids,
Yes.
we all felt like it's meant to be.
I remember sitting on my floor. I was just organizing documents. I remember as soon as I hung up, I said yes before I even talked to him because I knew what our family had felt.
Although they wanted to adopt Raya right away, the Department of Child Safety wanted them to get rid of their license from the state that allows them to foster children with higher needs and disabilities. But this was something the BASHA family couldn't do.
Then she went into another home that was an adoptable home, and it was hard. It was really hard.
Just 6 months later, they got the call again. Raya would become a permanent part of the family.
This is forever, and I think that's what kind of allowed her to really let go and be like, this is my mom and dad. Like, this is my home, my family, my brothers and sisters. And so it's cute for her to be able to feel that place where she belongs.
I find that it is in this child's best interest to be adopted by the BASHA family.
They now have a total of 12 children, a combination they like to call their own Brady Bunch, a rewarding event for the attorney who helped with this adoption and the one before.
I just feel incredibly lucky to do what I do, and each family is special and each has their own unique story.
And the BASHA family is still keeping their door open to more children in the foster care system.
Every child that comes in our home changes our family in a positive way.
To become a foster parent in Arizona, visit the Arizona Department of Child Safety website or dcs.az.gov. In the newsroom, Julia Sandor, Cronkite News.
As gas prices continue to increase, truck drivers are forced to raise the prices of their services to keep up with the costs. The price of fuel has increased about $1.55 over the past year, which causes problems for truck drivers. The cost of diesel fuel in Arizona is just under $4, which means truck drivers have to continuously raise the prices of their services. The president of the Arizona Trucking Association says that the price of fuel going up will cause an increase in the prices customers pay for store products.
Chilly temperatures are rolling into our forecast just in time for the Thanksgiving holiday. Isabella Fredrickson is in the Cronkite News Weather Center with the details.
This week we are going to be looking at some much colder temperatures all across the country. We are currently in the midst of a cold front coming in from the west coast. Now this is mainly going to be hitting up in Washington and Oregon, where there is a lot of rainfall and even some flooding. However, this cold front is also going to be hitting parts of Arizona, mainly in the northern region. This will be reflected in our temperatures for tomorrow. Up north, we are looking at much colder temperatures in the low 50s to low 60s. Our coldest for tomorrow will be up in Flagstaff at only 51 degrees. However, the southern region of the state is not going to be hit as bad, as we are looking at temperatures in the mid-70s. Taking a look at our evening planner, we are going to remain in the 70s consistently the rest of the evening. And finally, taking a look at our 8-day forecast. Again, we are going to be consistently in the 70-degree temperatures the rest of the week. However, because of that cold front and some of that low pressure activity we're experiencing, there is going to be a lot of cloud activity throughout this week. As we enter Thanksgiving weekend, enjoy those colder temperatures. Isabella Fredrickson in the Weather Center.
I'm Mariah Graves. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. See how roller derby goes hand in hand with football for a star safety and his family.
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
It's prime time on your time. Watch Prime Afternoons every weekday on Arizona PBS. Did you miss a show in the evening? Then catch up on Prime Afternoons, your favorite dramas.
No more bloody heroics.
Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
Nature and Nova.
It's time to reintroduce some wonder into this miracle of nature.
All of the best from PBS on Prime Afternoons. Weekdays starting at 1:30, only on Arizona PBS.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Here we go. Lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Welcome back. I'm Mariah Graves, and here is your Cronkite Sports Report. Colt McCoy and the Cardinals got it done again this week, beating divisional rival Seattle 23-13. Still unbeaten on the road, the Cardinals reclaimed the top spot in the NFC. Head coach Cliff Kingsbury talked today about the luxury of being first in the NFC West with several big games left to play.
Anytime you can be in that type of position in a division, through November, it's definitely a plus. I mean, we know we get huge games with the Rams, with Seattle, last one, still on the docket. And so we position ourselves well. We just got to find a way to finish now.
The Sun Devils fell to 7-4 on Saturday night with a loss at Oregon State, 24-10. Now ASU head coach Herm Edwards can set his sights on the Arizona Wildcats as they host the Territorial Cup this Saturday in the last game of the regular season.
They've got some good players, and so a game like this, doesn't matter what the records are, we know what this thing's about, and our players will know, especially the young ones, the freshman kids we have. They kind of understand, but I think the more they learn about the rivalry of this thing, the better.
The Wildcats showed their hand in Vegas this past weekend, winning the Roman main event tournament by beating number 4 ranked Michigan in the final. University of Arizona moves to 5-0 on the season after beating the Wolverines by 18 on Sunday. Junior big man Christian Coloco was named tournament MVP after finishing with 22 points, 7 rebounds, and added 4 blocks. It was a special game for Coloco, with his mother flying in from Cameroon to watch her son for a first time in a Wildcat jersey. The sport of roller derby has been out of commission since the start of the pandemic. Cronkite News reporter Zachary Larson tells us how a star football player fell in love with the roller derby and how his family continues to drive his passion for the sport.
Jordan Anderson is a star defensive player at BASHA High School who has received offers from several colleges. Football wasn't his first love. but contact sports run in the family, and his parents knew it would be a natural fit.
My parents just kind of threw me in there to see like what I would do, and I did really good my first year, so I just kept playing.
Jordan's parents are both roller derby players. His mom, Avanya, at age 46, is one of the top 100 players in the world. His dad, Ron, also plays and coaches the sport. The aggressive nature of roller derby prepared Jordan well for the gridiron.
He was at all of our roller derby games since he was little, so he saw what we were doing and how we were practicing. So I don't know if the aggression kind of transferred to him.
My parents love me playing football because it's like they could be rough with me just at certain times, and then I could take it because they play roller derby.
While the three are used to the bumps and bruises of their respective sports, there's an added adjustment for Jordan's parents in their sport. Ron coaches his wife, which can create a unique dynamic on and off the track.
Sometimes I have to tell her, watch your face, I'm not your husband, I'm your coach, I might say something, and she'll roll her eyes, and I'm like, I don't want the rest of the team rolling their eyes at me. And
I feel like it was kind of a package deal. Like, whenever I went to a team, you were going to get him regardless if he was a coach or not.
With many leagues having not played since March of 2020, but the stoppage has allowed them to focus on their kids.
And after skating for 15 years and being so deep into the sport of roller derby, it kind of lifted a little weight off my shoulders this last year and a half of not having to worry about that, especially dealing with their schedules.
The Andersons hope to roll into a rink again in the near future. But until then, they plan to be at every game supporting Jordan and helping take his game to the next level. In Chandler, Zachary Larson, Cronkite News.
BASHA High School finished at 10-0. They play in the first round of the Open Division playoffs on Friday against Liberty. On the court, the Suns' win streak moved to 12 with their 29-point victory over the Nuggets. Forward Cam Johnson did his part, posting a career-high 22 points. Star guard Devin Booker says that Cam and the team aren't satisfied with all the accolades just yet.
Man, I just congratulate him in the back. You know what he told me, Dwayne? He says, not 50 or nothing. I said, man, you got to crawl before you can run, man. So, I'm proud of him, but, I love the mentality, and his approach. But, he's going to have a lot more games over 22.
The Suns are back in action tonight in San Antonio against the Spurs, trying to keep their win streak alive. And that does it for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Camilla and Ryan.
The holidays are right around the corner, and annual Valley holiday events are starting to pop up again after a pause during the pandemic. After the break, more on Cityskate's grand opening happening later this week, bringing ice skating back to the heart of downtown Phoenix.
Passport is adding new shows and doubling the number of episodes for you to stream. For the first time ever, our most popular programs have been selected just for you.
But there's so much more.
Whether you like to travel,
Wow.
feast,
And calories don't count.
look back,
That is me.
discover,
You know the whole story.
there's something for everyone.
Let's get to it right away.
Stream on any device with Passport on the PBS Video app. Passport is adding new shows and doubling the number of episodes for you to stream. For the first time ever, our most popular programs have been selected just for you.
But there's so much more.
Whether you like to travel,
Wow.
feast,
And calories don't count.
look back,
That is me.
discover,
You know the whole story.
there's something for everyone.
Let's get to it right away.
Stream on any device with Passport on the PBS Video app.
What you get from Washington Week that you will not get anywhere else are the best and the brightest reporters from different media companies, and they're able to have a real conversation about things that are happening in Washington and around the country. But it's also a show about issues that are relevant to different communities. How do you think that, as the moderator, I feel this deep responsibility to bring in those other perspectives so that people understand how power and politics impact their daily lives.
Friday nights at 7 on Arizona PBS.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production.
Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Stream the best of PBS on any device with the PBS Video app. All your favorite drama, history, science, news, and documentaries, all in one place. Watch your PBS station live or catch up on the shows you missed. Discover new favorites from PBS and locally produced shows from your station.
Sign in and start streaming today.
As you start your Thanksgiving Day food shopping, you might notice that the price of your groceries has increased this year. According to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Association, world food prices are at the highest they've been in more than a decade. That's due to an increase in demand and issues with the supply chain. Also, extreme weather is leading to smaller harvests. Prices are expected to stay high through the holiday seasons.
Ice skating at Cityscape is back just in time for the holiday season. The grand opening will be this Friday at 3. There will be special performances, celebrity guest appearances, and giveaways. The ice skating rink is located at Patriots Park inside of Cityscape. For more information, visit Cityscape's website or Facebook page.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.